Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. So, my name is TT Shonda, and I decided to do a YouTube channel because why not? So now this was not of my own thought pattern. This came from my therapist. I think she thinks I'm funny. She told me do a video journal or I should do a YouTube channel. I think she just thinks I'm funny. So I decided to do a YouTube channel because I don't have space on my computer. I don't got time to be trying to figure out how to do video journaling. YouTube just seemed easier. Also, I could wear my cute outfits and I could tell stories because I got a lot of them. I got a billion of them because I know weird stuff. I used to like Jeopardy as a kid. So anyway, so here I come to you. Sorry, my cats keep opening the door. So if you see a cat, so anyway, here I come to you on YouTube to talk about a movie because let me show you. I was out and about and I found this mug, which I couldn't wait to buy it. I was looking for it. So I found this mug. This mug. It says I have crossed oceans of time to find you. Bram Stokers Dracula, which is one of my favorite movies, and this is like my favorite quote. Like someone else loved it and decided to make a mug out of it. That made me so happy. It's the little things. So this I was like so I was telling my husband like I was like excited and telling him about my mug and he just was like blah and I was like okay, whatever. So I decided to get on here and tell y'all, and I've been trying to finish my little arts and crafts. So this is so something I would do, a sticker by numbers flower, but that's gonna be my arts and crafts. Go get some arts and crafts, child. We could heal our inner child while breaking down this movie. By the way, this is a spoiler alert. I'm telling the whole thing. I'm spilling full tea. So if you want to watch the movie, which you should have been watch the movie, that's my opinion, personal opinion. But if you intend to watch the movie and you don't want to hear it, get off. But if you do, I'm breaking her all the way down. I'm breaking her down because it needs to be broke down, and we need to have an honest conversation. We need to give some flowers. We need to talk about everything. So I'm gonna just break it down. Now, understand this is just my perspective of that movie, just how I perceived it, my perspective. No, like you can have your own. Like you can go watch it if you haven't seen it. It may entice you, and then, or if you've seen it, maybe it'll make you go back and look at something different. Or you can put something in the comments and say and tell me your perspective. Whatever, honey. We just here to finish some arts and crafts so we can get to page 2 because we only on page 1 here and talk about this movie in a realistic way though. In a realistic way. Before I start though, I'm gonna just close this door because it's gonna get on my nerves. Okay, and you got one cat here. You have 3 because my husband has a cat addiction. Well, he thinks he's gonna save every cat he sees. So that would be Umi. So the guest host here, unintentional, is Umi the cat. So whatever. We're going with it. Maybe we'll finish page 1 of these arts and crafts today. Who knows? Who knows what we're gonna do? But we definitely gonna talk about this movie. So let me get to it because I'll never do it. I'm a rapper. So Bram Stokers Dracula. Boom. So we just gonna start off in like the 1400s. Oh, by the way, let me before we start telling this story, let's talk about directors, actors. We need to get that out. I feel like I need to stay in sequence here, and I'm gonna try my best. And this might be a part 1, 2 type situation because life is like that. I gotta pick my kid up from job, so whatever. So the director is Francis Ford Coppola. Now, I don't know if y'all know who he is. He's a very popular director. He did The Godfather, and he did really good with The Godfather. Um, But if I had to put my favorite out there, this is going to be my favorite movie from him. He did really good in this movie. I mean, it is amazing. But we'll get to that as we get through this movie. We have Gary Oldman is my dude. If he in anything, just go and watch it, honey. It's gonna be good. He is a great actor. He played Zorg in The Fifth Element, and I loved him in that. Like he's been in so many different movies. He classy based actor. Like top of his game actor. Okay, if he in something, watch it. I promise you, you're gonna have a good time. He's a good actor, and he's British, by the way. Mind you, he played this sidebar. See right here, that's why we don't finish stuff on time. Sidebar, he plays Sorg, right? This is a British actor. We're talking British accents, whole Texas accent. Like you better flex. You better flex your skills. You better flex. You better flex your skills. Sorry, my candle was acting a fool. You better flex. My candle was agreeing. You better flex the skills there. Okay, we have her Donna Ryder. Love her acting. Just saw her in Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice, girl, I liked it. It was cute. It was cute. If y'all haven't seen it, like it should now be. I think you should be able to stream it now. But it was cute. It was good. It was a good sequel. I liked it. They paid homage. Like I liked it. So I recommend it. Renona Ryder was good in that. I love Renona Ryder though. She's a great actress. Anthony Hawkins, like, look, the casting in this one is that's what they're doing. Chef's kiss. Okay, Anthony Hopkins was so good. He played two people. Hey, you better get it. You better get it. I hope they paid you. I hope they paid you what you. I hope they paid you two checks, sir, because you did it. You played two people. I like it. And then, girl, okay, let me put the cup down. Let me just really just do this here. Crunch, crack. Keanu Reeves, honey, your accent was never together on like we need to really have a real conversation. Your accent was never like, sir, this was not the movie for you. Speed, yes. The Matrix, absolutely. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, sir, sign me up every time. How not this one though. This wasn't it. Okay. I'm going no further. But okay, I will do this because if I sit you down, I gotta bring you back up, right? It made the movie quirky. It kept me in there. It wasn't ever where I got lost, but it made me lean in more so when you came on acting because I was just like, sir, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this today? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? Anyway, so okay, we got the cast together because it's an amazing cast. We talked about the director because hello, hi Francis, how you doing? Oh, that was I took Wendy. I'm sorry. Hey Wendy girl, love it. How you? Hi sir. Great. I mean, he did this right, and then the costumes. I'm trying to look for who did the costumes. Girl, them costumes. They won best costume. The Academy Award for best costume. That's how good. Like, watch this movie. If you ain't seen it, watch it. It was made in 92. 1992. So you ain't got no excuse. Go back, find it, watch it. It's worth it. Um I cannot say her name, so I'm not gonna butcher it, but girl, you did that. It was Japanese designer. Watch it. And it even stands the test of time. Watch the movie. Okay, so I'm about to spoil it for you. I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help you watch it. I'm gonna entice you. I'm gonna whet your appetite for watching it. Okay, so like I was saying, we're in the 1400s and the Ottoman Empire trying to move in on the Catholic Empire. Christian. I don't know. It was it was some denomination of Christian. The Ottoman Empire is just trying to come for them. And they're like, and so the Christians are like, no, that's not how we play. Now, they're in Transylvania, by the way, because Dracula. This is Dracula's start. So the Ottoman Empire, is over here just like doing too much. And so the Christians are like, oh my God, we got to do something. So they go to Dracula because he is savage. And so they like, hey, can you help us? The Christians are. And he's like, absolutely, I'm Christian too. So I'm willing to do something. So he goes to his wife, Isabella, and he's like, girl, I got to go to war. Because, girl, we are not here for the Ottoman Empire. And so she was like, okay, baby, but just make sure you safe. And Dracula is just looking at her like, girl, I am Dracula. I am Vlad Dracula, honey. How are you even doubting me even a little bit? Because history's gonna show that I'm a savage, honey. So he like, girl, don't even worry about it. I'm be back. I'm be back for you. And just hold down the castle. And so she's like, okay, baby. And so he leave and go to war. Like he opened the door and they like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, let's get him. Like he was Gary Oldman was having a great time. Okay. He looked like he was ready. And the outfit was great. His war outfit. Please do check for these outfits. They're bad. Speaking of, that's why I had to wear my orange cape, because this is what I would look like in the movie if I was there. I wouldn't be in the movie and I wouldn't look like this. But if I was Dracula, because he always has a cape. He has a cape. If I was Dracula, this would be me, or this is how he would look if he was me in that movie in modern times. You got to put a few exceptions on there. So anyway, so he run out with the homies and he's slaughtering everything. Like he's killing it, literally and figuratively. He was beating them down. And so they, meaning the Ottoman Empire, they like, oh, we petty. We petty. You're not gonna come over here beating us up and think that we just not go. You gonna face some heartache, baby. So what do? They send a letter to Isabella, the wife who holding down the castle. She just sitting there waiting for her husband to come back. Dutiful wife holding the castle down. They send a letter to her lying because they petty. They're like, oh, we're petty. We're petty. Oh, yes, we're petty, honey. We're here for the petty. Saying, your husband dead, girl. He gone. And so she's heartbroken. She's like, girl, what am I gonna do? It's the 1400s. I don't have nobody's rights. I don't even know what to do. So what does she do? She clenches that letter to her chest and she jumps out the window. And she did not make it, honey. I mean, she went into water from like way high up. These are castles. So they are high up. Well, not all castles are high up, but just watch the movie for confirmation of that. So Dracula is not gone. He's still with us. And not just with us, he is blowing it out the water, honey. He is beating these people left, right, and center. And so he comes back to find out that she gone. She is no longer with us. She was heartbroken. She was clenching a letter. She's laying there. She's wet. She's clenching that letter still. And the priest, Anthony Hopkins' first role, the priest is like, hey, sorry to tell you, thank you for fighting our war. That was great. But I'm sorry. Like, this is like the worst case scenario on a job. Like, oh, well, thank you for this, but we're firing you. No, it was worse than that. He was like, "Thank you for fighting the war for us and killing it, literally and figuratively." I'm probably gonna get in trouble for saying that, but like, um, thank you for doing that. But your wife here is not going to heaven because she, chose to end it herself. Deal with it. And they basically like just, I guess there was no therapy. Like when you think about that time frame, like think about it. There was no therapy there. Sigmund Freud was not. He had, honey, his great had not even been thought about yet. They weren't, as they used to say, a twinkle in their daddy eye. That wasn't happening. So they just drop it on him, like that's harsh. And he probably got PTSD, just came back from war. No empathy, no sympathy going on. So, and this is why you got to like kind of look at your parents a little different and not like totally like be mad at them, because they probably had trauma. Like who knows what their parents knew, like child. So anyway, they drop it on him. No empathy. He's just like, no, she's not going to heaven. She did it. She took herself out of here. So we're not co-signing that. Let me turn it this way so you can see the boom, the statement. So Dracula just loses it. He goes bananas, honey. That man was like, war. Like he was not here for what that man said. I was like, this is how we stay on the first page. I didn't got caught up in talking to y'all, but still, if you're doing your arts and crafts, actually follow the assignment. Don't be me. Don't be TT. See, this is why we have to have these long conversations. And you can do your arts and crafts and heal your inner child. And I'll heal my inner child, I guess, by telling you, by venting about how I saw these people acting a fool. Like, girl, what? So, or not giving therapy, really. Because everybody here needed therapy. This could have all been studied by therapy. And you know what? I'm gonna throw a little. What is it? It's called like a nugget, a little eggshell. I forget what Easter egg. Renfield actually like the story Renfield, and Renfield is in here. Maybe we'll get there today if my daughter doesn't call while I'm still telling the story, and she probably will. Renfield goes to therapy. I thought it was great. I was like, oh, they must have read my mind about some of my thoughts. Because Renfield actually goes to therapy in the movie Renfield with Nicolas Cage. Love him. He is quirky and I love him. I'll do a whole rant. I'll do a bunch of his movies. It's coming. Coming to a theater near you. So anyway. So Dracula is like, war. And he's just like tearing everything up. He's mad. He's going off. He's like, how dare you? Blah, blah, blah. And so he finally just says, you know what? To hell with him. The man upstairs. To hell with him. I don't mess with him no more. To hell with his grace. I'm done. How dare he say my wife can't go to, like, when I tell you, look, ladies, if a man don't make you feel like this, not tell you, like actually feel like, oh my God, this man like really loves me. And if he ain't willing to ride with you, girl, you don't want him. Because Dracula was here for girl. So, like, I was like, this man really loves this woman. I mean, she loved him because she made the ultimate sacrifice. She said, "Oh, I can't live without him." She went Juliet, like Romeo and Juliet. Okay, honey. She said, "If I can't be with you," I would say she went Cleopatra, but Cleopatra said, "I am not to be captured. Y'all not gonna make a fool of me." We'll go through that one time too. My thoughts and perspective, just from looking at these things and being like, okay, I get what you're trying to say there. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe you'll agree. Maybe you won't. Maybe it'll make you think. So he takes his sword and he just like stabs it into the cross, and all this blood comes gushing out. Now, it was covering her. Girl, Rihanna, or I'm sorry, Renona. Clearly, I need to listen to Rihanna. Desperado. Sitting in an old Monte Carlo. Yes. I love that song. Anyway. Renona, did you have to lay there and let that stuff spill on you, girl? Or did they use like some props? Let me know. Or if anybody knows, let me know. Because that was a lot of wet stuff. And it was blood. And so he like yells and he turns into Dracula, pretty much. That is the beginning. It just like starts off like, I ain't got time. I'm Dracula now. My alter ego. My alter ego. So, then we get to Renona Ryder. She's being Mina. So Mina, like, she talking to Jonathan. Jonathan, like, girl, I got to go out of town because the last realtor went a little cuckoo cuckoo. He went to Transylvania and he went crazy. No red flags. This man is having no red flags. I would have been like, he went over there and then he went crazy. Why he go crazy? No, nobody asked any questions. That's crazy to me. But whatever. Maybe. By the way, I'm sorry. I didn't even catch you up. We're in like the 1800s. Somewhere like 1800s there. So, time, it's 400 years later. It took 400 years for this woman to cycle on back. Oh, well, spoiler alert. How almost spoiled a spoiler. Anyway. Just get ready for that. So, he like, girl, I gotta go close this purchase. Because he's a realtor. Or something, or banker. He's a banker or realtor, something of that nature. So he's like, I gotta go, close this deal in Transylvania. I'm gonna be back because they're about to get married. So she's like, well, I'll just stay with my friend Lucy in America. And he's like, ooh, Lucy a little, for that time frame. Now, we weren't always this way, ladies. There was a time where we was a little more refined. And not saying that what we're doing now is bad, but I'm just saying time like changes like fashion and society. Like, I think people forget that. So anyway, so he like Lucy a little, she's like, well, it'll be fine, Jonathan. I don't want to be by myself while I'm waiting on us to get married. So he was like, okay, I gotta go. So he goes. He goes on to Transylvania. So meanwhile, we got Lucy. So, like, it's branches. This, again, it's a really good movie. It branches off to these different scenarios. So, I'm going to have to try to keep up and like, keep myself in check. This is about me, keeping myself in check. Because when I tell a story, I'm really bad at keeping it sequential. It's a weakness of mine. So I'm going to try my best. So roll with me. So Lucy is like, Lucy is, girl, for her time, honey, Lucy is just a little firecracker, honey. She doing what she wants to do with the men. She being a little flirty child. This is Victorian age, honey. They weren't on that. The girls were buttoned up. The girls were very buttoned up at that time. So, so her and Mina and Lucy is sitting there talking, and Lucy's like, yes, girl, I'm over here touching on his chest, and girl, we was kissing. Mina like, oh, girl, you can't be doing that. And Lucy like, girl, well, what do you and Jonathan do? And she's like, oh, we be holding hands and stuff. And Lucy just like, girl, Oh, do better. So then the guys, because Lucy talking to three men, honey, all at the same time. She got three men, honey. Okay, Lucy is, honey, for the time she's a wild wild girl, honey. So Lucy, little suitors come in. It's like a doctor. Ooh, it's a Texan and somebody else. I can't remember the third person. Girl, you know what this reminds me of? Daria. Like Quinn, the sister, had these three dudes and she never could remember their name. I feel like that third dude is kind to be like Joey or whatever. Your scene just really wasn't that important for me to just give energy. And I'm not saying the acting wasn't good, but I'm just saying like my mind can't even remember what your status was because you just kind of she just washed over you, honey. She wasn't into you. You was just somebody to have just in case the other two were busy. I don't know. So they come and she's like, oh, the doctor, oh, the Texan, oh, the third one. Um, and she's like, I gotta pick somebody. I don't know what to do here. So so, we cut off that timeline. Then we go to Jonathan timeline. Honey, look, there were red flags everywhere. The red flag, flag red, flag red. It was like, ugh. So he's traveling there and he's journaling. He's telling you his deep inner thoughts because he ain't nobody to talk to because nobody's really doing this with him because it's getting a little bizarre. Bizarre is probably the right word for it because it's just gonna decline into like, sir. There was a reason why Renfield went a little cuckoo. So he's on a train. It's looking real dusky. Now, this is where I want to point out some directing here. We're gonna point out some directing here. Pay attention to the way the camera is because they do this art thingy. It's like this art shadow work, and I love it. Like to show the train, like pay attention. It's really, really unique. It's a unique perspective. It held up so well throughout time. Like I watch it. It's from 1992. A lot of films from 1992 look dated. This one is intentionally dated. So it just always has the look of that time frame. He even, because I watched the director's cut. Here's spoiler, okay? He actually used like actual film and equipment from the time frame. Like we'll get to that part if I remember. Maybe I'm gonna try. It's the part where Dracula walking. I mean, it's a masterpiece, honey. Francis Frank Coppola, sir, you are that dude. Okay, so it's just slowly declining from bizarre to just like I don't even know where. Bizarre to like frightening. Like, sir, you should have asked why the man went crazy. You could have stopped all this. I just like I wish there was like some part where they could like put in there me just sitting there like you could have stopped this if you had asked why that man went crazy. That's where you could have probably just like nipped this in the bud. But nope, he kept going. He was dutiful. This is why we need the word no. This is why no. Cause no, you gotta, and this is why you gotta ask why too. Why I gotta go? What happened to Renfield? He a pretty thorough dude. Anyway, why am I not doing my arts and crafts? Why? So anyway, so it gets to a point where he get in his cab with the gypsies. And the gypsies is looking like, sir, are you sure? Them gypsies is looking at him like, you sure you want to go where you're saying you're going? You sure? You know how the locals, like people in the local area, like if you like go out of town, like, I've been to like Chicago, and you want to go get like Harold's chicken. And the best ones be like in some places that are a little and so the locals be like, you sure you want to go? I'll be like, yes, I'm sure. I do in a few states, Atlanta. I be going, there's a place called Busy Bee Cafe. Worth it. I don't even care. I don't even care. It's not safe over there, but I don't care. It's worth it. Baby, it's worth it. So them gypsies looking at him like la da dee, la da da. Like, you sure? You sure? So when he get out the little gypsy cart, they hand the girl was like, "Oh my god, it is just not, it's like, sis, here's my mace. It is not safe over here." And the out like, what you doing? Here's my mace, girl. What are you doing? So she hand him this cross, like, sir, take this cross, please. Like, for the love of God, just because this ain't even okay over here. It's vampires. And she kept saying it in her language. I think she said it Nosferatu. Maybe not. I don't remember well on that part. But she was concerned. And she should have been. So she gave him the cross and she was like, the dead walk swift or something she said. I'm like, girl. Again, I would have got in that car and went right on back, and you can send some other adventurous soul. Because honey, I don't think I can do it. But he nevertheless he persisted. So he gets in a car. It's this weird this car looks a little different, like a hearse. And there's this dude with this like claw thing, and it just draws him in. It was kind of weird. I was like, girl, what it was. But again, we were ignoring every red flag that was sent to us. We just acted like it was fine. Like, oh, float on. And so when you do that, consequences come, good, bad, or other. Like sometimes it could work out. Maybe he gonna make millions of dollars from this transaction. But it's the way it's looking, the direction it's heading. It looks like that's not what's gonna happen. So I don't know. So he gets in a cart with this dude, and then oh my god, at some point they go through like a portal, like these like blue lines, and he's looking around like, oh my god. Like again, sir, you're continuing this journey, and no forcing. Nobody forced you. You're doing this to you. So he goes in. He goes to the front door, and Dracula just is looking old and horrible. The robe was great, but he just looking old, honey. I was like, baby, you changed. But I guess when you live 400 years, and I guess he was just like, it don't matter what I look like. I don't care about him. He didn't care about. I don't think he cared about impressing Jonathan. So I mean, this man had hair on his palms. I was just like, ugh. Ugh. So, and like the candle caught fire. Like y'all really gotta watch it. It was like I was disturbed a little bit, but now I'm okay. So he sits him down, and Jonathan's like being polite, but he's just tired and ready to go to sleep, and he's making small talk, and Dracula get mad. Well, no, you know what? It doesn't matter which way. Watch the movie, and you can tell me which way it is in the comment. So Dracula gets mad because he said something crazy, but it wasn't really crazy. He just kind of got offended in a weird way. Like Jonathan wasn't even paying attention to what he was saying if you look. And so he gets mad and he like swings his sword at him. Look, honey, that man might present old, but baby, the way he was swinging that sword, he wasn't old. Like he had some strength to it. He had some control. I was like, oh, I'm in control. Got it. So then he figures out he overreacted. He gathers himself. He bunches himself up. He gathers himself, and he's like, okay, that was in the past. So Jonathan, I think that's what made him drop his little pocket watch thing, and the thing opens, and what who Dracula see? Who Dracula see? It's Mina, aka Isabella. Wait a minute. So that means Winona Ryder played too. Girl, I hope you got paid. Anthony Hopkins, I hope you got paid too for your 2 roles. Y'all did good. So anyway, so he see it. He like that's when he burned them palm hairs, and I was like, I could have did without seeing that. Ugh, like, sir, shave your palms. And I get it. It's like the 1800s. They had razors then. There's like no excuse for it. I know you Dracula, but you know how to act. Because when you got with Mina, you wasn't doing all that in the beginning. So anyway, and by the way, I will address characters. I will address anybody. Anybody can get addressed. Characters, real people, the actor. I get absorbed in the multi layers of it. So anyway, so wait, I was dragging. Wait, I got lost in my own story. Um, so he gets excited. He's like, "Oh my god!" And Jonathan grab it back. He's like, "Oh, you found my Mina." And Dracula's like, and I know inside his head, he was like, "No, sir, I found my Isabella. Full stop. You in my house." So, so Dracula is like taking Jonathan to the room, and he's like, "Hey, this house is old, and things lurk about. Don't come out this room at night, no matter what you hear, and definitely don't go over there or over there. Wait, let me get my or over there. Don't go over there or over there. Don't do it. Don't come out at night. Don't get them wet or feed them at the midnight." So Jonathan go in the room and whatever. But really he just became Dracula's hostage because Dracula saw that Isabella was back and she was in London. So so he basically told Jonathan, write a bunch of letters, like a bunch of them. And Jonathan knew at this point everything I said about the red flags, he probably should have listened to. That's what he knew at that point. Like, oh man, I bet you was thinking at that point, like, oh, ooh, I should have asked why Brimfield went crazy here. I bet you that's when he thought about it. That's probably when it dawned on him, right there. So Dracula keeps him hostage. At one point, Dracula like Jonathan's shaving, and Dracula was like threatening him in some form. I mean, at this point, it was all threats. I mean, nothing was like, "Oh, could you please?" No, it was like, "You must show will or die." So, all of it was threats. And yeah, so, he cut him at a point and then licks it off the blood, but then he sees, like, the cross thing that lady gave him, and he took it some kind of way he took it off. He was like, "You don't need all this religious foolishness," and just, like, tip but again, at this point, it was like, "You are the prisoner and I am the dominant. I was here before you. This is my room. I'm Debo." Like, he was Deboing this man. So, um one night, Jonathan decides to tip out. Well, no, before we get to that, we can say that because I can just smush that all together. So here come little Miss Lucy. I love him. I love him. I like Lucy, by the way. I think she is just something different. She is the spark of life here. So she comes her little self out. I love him. I love him. I love him. So she decided to marry her little Texan honey. She decided, hey, honey, everything's big in Texas, and I'm a big personality, and baby, here I come. So, Lucy did made up to a man. But here come, Mina, she's like, oh, she's just sitting there with she probably wasn't finishing her arts and crafts because she was sad. She's sitting there with her letters. This is her letters, though. Pretend like this is not the arts and crafts that I'm not finishing. And these are her letters. So she says, "Oh my God, Jonathan be sending me these letters, but they're just so like nothing. It's not like him." Because she's really in love with this man. She really pays attention to who he is when she really reads those letters. You know what? Hashtag bring back letters. Bring back letter writing. It's such a personal touch. I think it's such a personal thing. Like anytime I got letters, it was when I did something really personal and people really were like, happy about it. And I really touched me when they handwritten letters and it meant something. So bring back handwrite letters. I think it would make people feel a little more happy. Bring back handwritten letters. My daughter hates when I do that. She's 20. Yes. So anyway, so she notices that Jonathan just sounding real blah. And me and Lucy like, "Girl, it's fine, girl. It ain't nothing but a thing, girl. Ain't nothing but a thing." Meanwhile, Dracula on his way, honey, he's swaying and swagging on this boat. He swags and surfs and swags and surfs on his little boat. And he's on his way. He's eating everybody alive on the boat. Okay, there's red stuff flying everywhere. Red stuff didn't just stop when he stuck the knife in the cross, clearly. So he's swagging and surfing right on in London, honey. And he comes in and he's a wolf. And he comes through and girl, guess who he going to? Miss Lucy, baby. Because Lucy, I don't know what vibe she was giving, but honey, Dracula he heard her cries, honey. Ooh. And here he comes, honey. Okay, here he went. He's a wolf. So think about a wolf. There's a song that made me think of it. It's called Howl at the Moon by Radio on TV. Radio on TV, I believe, is the name of the group. It made me think of that. Okay, I was there. I was like, oh my God. Howl at the moon. Yes. So he's there with Lucy. Lucy's floating through in her red dress, and it was just, honey, that dress is everything. That dress is everything. And you know what? On that note, because it's almost been 45 minutes. On that note, we're gonna stop here because I gotta pick the kiddo up from work. And we'll proceed whenever I feel like finishing it, because I'm not gonna put a time frame on it because I feel like that's unhealthy. My therapist didn't tell me to do it She didn't give me a sequence, so it's at my leisure. So anyway, I will see you guys later. Bye. Or maybe you'll never see this. Who knows? Bye.